The story of Sati. King Daksha was one of the sons of Lord Brahma. Daksha had many daughters. 27 of them were married to the handsome moon god Chandra, and among his remaining daughters, Dakshayani was married to Shiva. Daksha was not at all happy with Dakshayani's choice. Shiva spent most of his time either on Mount Kailash in the freezing Himalayas or in cremation grounds. To make matters worse, he looked positively dreadful with his long, dark, matted locks and that snake wrapped around his neck like a garland. Daksha felt that his beautiful daughter deserved a better husband. But Dakshayani was very happy with her husband and enjoyed her time with him no matter where they were. One day, Daksha decided to perform a grand yajna. He invited all his daughters and his sons in law, as well as many other relatives and friends, to participate in the event. On the day of the yajna, as soon as Daksha entered the place, everyone stood up to welcome him, all except Brahma and Shiva. Daksha was livid. God or not, Shiva was his son in law, and by not standing up at his arrival, Shiva had insulted Daksha. At least that's how the king perceived it. A few months later, Daksha held another grand yajna, but this time he didn't invite Dakshayani and Shiva. When Dakshayani heard that all her sisters were visiting her father's house, she said to Shiva, I want to go to my father's house for the yajna. Will you come with me? Shiva smiled and replied, You shouldn't go without an invitation, even if it is your father's home. A daughter doesn't need an invitation to visit her parents, she retorted. All right, but he warned that your father may use strong words against me. I know how loyal and kind you are, and I'm afraid that it may be hard for you to listen to him. I hope you will be careful. I won't accompany you, dear wife, but my blessings are with you. Dakshayani quickly collected a few gifts and left for Daksha's house with Nandi, Shiva's gentle white bull, and his primary vehicle. When Daksha saw his daughter, he said, I don't remember having sent you an invitation. Is your ill mannered husband also going to turn up later? A disturbed silence fell over the room. All the guests were shocked at what had just happened. When Shiva learnt of his wife's fate, he cried out in such anger that the entire world shook. In his rage, he created a fearsome avatar, Veerabhadra, and provided him with a forceful army. He then ordered Veerabhadra to stop Daksha's ritual and destroy anyone who stood in his way. His grief and fury not quelled yet, Shiva began his divine dance of destruction. Tandav Nritya. The earth quaked in the wake of his wrathful steps, and people started panicking, convinced that the world was about to end. But Shiva didn't stop or falter. Meanwhile, Veerabhadra and his army destroyed the yajna. He cut off Daksha's head and vanquished the other sages and gods who came forward to help the king. As the destruction continued, they called upon Brahma for help, who entreated Shiva to pardon Daksha and restore normalcy in the world. Finally, Shiva calmed down. His compassion awakened. He brought Daksha back to life, replacing his head with that of goats, so the proud king would never forget his folly. Daksha immediately fell at Shiva's feet, vowing to spend the rest of his life as his devotee. Once order restored in the world, Shiva withdrew himself and entered a state of deep meditation, and Dakshayani came to be known as Sati from then on. Dakshayani didn't say anything, barely restraining her anger. The yajna began, but Daksha wasn't done ridiculing Shiva. Go back, dear daughter, to your husband, whom you love more than your father. I remember his insult very well, and both of you are no longer welcome here. He continued in this vein until Dakshayani couldn't take it any longer. Humiliated beyond words, she closed her eyes and prayed to her husband, My lord, I have made a mistake by coming here and not heeding your warning. You were right, and I cannot live with the scars of the words my father has inflicted on me. She then jumped into the sacred fire of the yagya, thus performing the act of sati.